All right, what's up, guys? So today I'm going to be showcasing this firearm right here, and I'm pretty sure I got the luck of the draw because in terms of reliability, functionality, and everything like that, it was built to spec. The only thing that I'm going to be changing on it is the recoil spring. And I'm probably going to change out this back strap because it is plastic. You can actually hear that. That's plastic. This is metal. That's metal. This is plastic. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to change out that back strap just because I like the metal back strap. And I'm probably going to get it smoothed out. Just because. It'll be closer to the original. So, anyway, we're going to go ahead and just make sure you guys see that it is, in fact, cleared. No magazine inside. And here is the empty magazine right here. So let's go ahead and showcase before we get started with the video. So the Colt 1911, this has been a legacy gun since 1911 when John Moses Browning introduced it, and it was adopted into the military and served in World War I. Then it was served in World War II. Then it was served in Vietnam, and it was served in the Korean War, believe it or not, and so on and so forth. And for the longest time, people have been using it for ages. But the main manufacturer, the originator, was Colt. They were the ones that made the model, or the M1911, right? And it is a fantastic firearm. I will say, I love Colt, just as a brand. Now, I know for a fact that, due to the recent years, like after COVID, post-COVID, they just went downhill on quality control, and they haven't been producing as good a firearm as they would. And trust me, if they release another firearm and they actually build it great like they did this one, then I'm gonna buy it. The reason why I say that this is the luck of the draw is because there have been reports of, loose fitted items, kind of like the grip safety, which mine is a little bit more on the stiffer side. The trigger, you can kind of move side to side and up and down, but it's really not that loose, So, with it being as like pretty stiff, I'm not having any issues there. The barrel lockup is superb. I have no issues with it just moving around. And again, like the only time it moves around is like that. But once it's forward, nothing. So it's fantastic. It doesn't move. But I have noticed that people were talking about rust on the hammer. Like I said, loose fitted items. Some people even said for the safety, this little spring or this little plunger right here, that connects the safety, the grip safety, and the a slide lock right here. Some people have been able to just pull it out, just pull it right on out, and it was actually fitted backwards. So this one, it looks like it's fitted properly, and I did when I got home, I went ahead and took off the slide stop, which we're gonna actually get into that in just a second. And I tried pulling out that little piece, that little spring thing right here. That's supposed to help with the safety, the positivity. You hear the clicks. It's just like, yeah. So very positive, very positive. So no complaints there. And it's not a mushy safety at all. So it does have a little bit of over travel, but I'm not really going to complain about that. I've never had a 1911 do that before, but maybe I just never noticed it when I did shoot my old 1911, and my Romulus doesn't do that at all. So actually, speaking of removing the slide stop, the slide stop, when I removed it the first time, and I just wanted to wipe away all the factory oil and just put on my oil, which I just use your run-of-the-mill, pretty much CLP. It's like the Browning brand cleaning stuff. And so I went ahead and just doused it. Pretty much, it's like I dunked it in a bucket of gun oil. But regardless, I noticed right off the bat as I was taking this thing apart and trying to, just wipe everything down, that there is some wear underneath the slide stop. And to be specific on that, I never messed with it until I got home, which means somebody before me had to have just like made a mistake in the bluing process, and that just wore out super duper quickly, which me doing this a couple of times, shouldn't warrant that sort of wear. The other theory that I have is somebody else was messing with this thing, and over time it just kept shaving away at the coating. Speaking of the coating, the only drawback to this firearm so far has been the fact that the coating has been wearing a little bit prematurely. Where exactly? So right there. And here is another spot right there. You see that spot, that line right there? That's another spot where it's wearing prematurely. There's a lot of bare metal there. A lot of bare metal. Look at that. So that right there does concern me to a degree, because at the end of the day, I could just get it recoated, and it wouldn't hurt. But the main thing is, it's just the fact that I have this, this problem. Nowhere else on the slide is it having premature wear. The typical wear, you're going to get after shooting a few hundred rounds. I'm getting that, already. So I'm noticing it right there too. But other than those two areas, I'm not seeing any sort of premature wear on the frame, on the rest of the slide, like the grooves that hold the slide onto the frame. No premature wear there. It, everywhere else is pretty pristine. It's just that part of the slide and maybe a little bit underneath the slip. But I know that here doesn't really matter all that much. It's just that it's happening quickly. But right here is pretty important, because, you don't want that. Now granted, yes, it could be a part of, like, I should have lubed that spot and I didn't lube it properly, and now it's showing that sort of wear. But it shouldn't be doing that from the get-go. So anyway, other than those two spots showing premature wear on the coating, and that area right here, this area right here that has that little scrape, everywhere else is pretty pristine. The parts are fitted pretty damn well. The only complaint that I have with this firearm is really just the premature coating wear. I know some people have been reporting rust on the hammer, and I have not seen any rust on my hammer. I've had it for a couple of days now, so maybe it takes a few days for you to actually see that rust. But I know that I'm keeping it in an environment where it's actually fixed. Like it's got one of those dehumidifier packs inside, so it's not going to be it's not going to have moisture inside the area, right? So yeah, it's really really a good pistol. Also, there are going to be a couple things that I do change with this pistol. First off, I'm going to get the grip that has the gold horse on the grips. And so I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to change out this mainspring housing for a smooth one. And I also want it to be metal. There's nothing wrong with the current grip. I just like that smooth area. I like the smoothness here, and I kind of want it to be consistent up here. Now, I wouldn't change it if it had grooves right here. You know, then it would kind of match with this. But since it doesn't, for me, it just doesn't make any sense for me to have grooves on one side, no grooves on the other. So I'm going to do that. Other than that, I'm going to change the housing right here, and pretty much call it a day. The spring, I'm sorry, the spring. I'm going to change the recoil spring up here for a Wilson Combat spring. And after that, I'm pretty much good. I'm not going to do anything with the mainspring. I'm not going to do anything with the mainspring. I'm not going to do anything with the plunger or anything like that. All the other springs are pretty good. My main thing, and you know, is so far, you know, the trigger pull isn't bad. You know, isn't too tough. Good practice. You know, it's a good reset too. Let me show you. I'm gonna show you in the camera. So that's it. A little bit to take up. Probably about 4 pounds. Reset right there. Boom. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we're not going to do anything to change the mainspring where the mainspring housing is, but we are going to change that recoil spring and just get it up to actual spec. And I bought 5 more magazines, so it does come with one 7-round magazine, in which I ran through ammo quickly through this. So that's why I bought 5 more. I was just like, if I'm gonna be in a situation where I need to use this thing, and it's a like I said, it's like a barbecue gun or something, then I'm gonna have 3 more fucking mags. So it's gonna be 1 in here, 3 more here, and then I'm just fucking kitted out, you know, just so that way I have the upper hand. Because if you look at it from a capacity standpoint, all my other guns, I'll have 40 or at least close to 40 rounds, because I'll have 17 and 21 or 19 and 20 or, you know, 17 and 17. It's just like I have all these other firearms that have so much capacity, and then I have 7 here and then 7 more, and it's just like, okay, I understand, you know, it only takes about 2 shots at most to knock a person down with 45 ACP, but just like, I want a little bit more. So yeah, I'm getting 3 more on my belt. And so then I'm gonna get a holster for this thing, and I'm also looking at getting a TSOS 1911, so that way I don't have to lug this thing around, because I do want to keep it in pristine condition. Now that doesn't mean I'm not going to shoot it. I definitely am going to shoot it, but I do want to preserve the life of this gun. So the best way to do that is just to keep it in a fixed environment. So I'm going to keep it in the safe, and that TSOS is what I'm going to be lugging around when I'm out in town, and I just feel like carrying a 1911 that day. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful gun. Anyway, guys, so I understand you've been hearing me talk all this time. You're probably wondering, when am I going to get to the range time? That's funny that you asked that, because this is pretty much the end of my talk. I'm going to go ahead and cut to the video footage of me shooting this thing and complimenting it the entire time, because this thing is a lot of fun. Also, if I didn't mention, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it like 3 times, I had a double feed Or maybe it was in a different take, but I had a double feed. It was just magazine related. The gun didn't necessarily have the malfunction. It was more magazine related than anything. So if it does count as a malfunction, but it ran 100%, it cycled 100% of the time pretty much, or 99% of the time, sorry. And so I would deem this, for first impressions, 100 rounds out of the box, only one malfunction. I would say this gun is pretty solid. We're going to be doing our 250 round review, and then we're going to do our 700 round review in the near future. So once I get to that point, I'll let you guys know if my feelings change about this pistol or anything like that, and then pretty much call it, So anyway, regardless, you guys have a good day and enjoy the next 10 minutes of me shooting. It's a bit of a kicker, I'll tell you that much. There we go. Oh, I miss Colts. Oh man, and I lost count of how many mags I'm in. I think I'm at 5. So what is that, 35 rounds? Fuck it, we're gonna shoot all of them. 150 rounds today. Fuck it. What was that? 6 times 7, 42. That's 7. There we go. Alright, I'm a little all over the place. I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna chill out. Just having too much fun today. Too much fun. Alright. 56. So far, 56 rounds in, no malfunctions. That's good. Very good. No malfunctions. That's how we like it. So what is that? 56, 70. 56 plus 7, which is 64. No, 63. Alright. Oh, that's better. Alright. Alright. Oh. Got a double feed there. Oh. Alright. So that's one malfunction. And I think that has to do with the magazine. Alright. Alright, so 100, wait, 63 and 70, so we're at 77 now. I'm gonna just count all the rounds. Seven, 84. Alright, 84 plus 7, which is 91. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to put 5 in the next one, and that'll be 100. That is 100. All right. Yeah.